I used to feel that this is some sort of a forbidden fruit, my twin flame, because he is married, I am married, and I'm not supposed to think about him. So there was this guilt, and I was limiting myself when it came to reaching out to him. So I was holding myself back. But when I read this book called Power of Your Subconscious Mind, that was the first time I realized very consciously that I am possibly limiting myself because I'm having some sort of a conditional belief system. And I need to let go of that conditional belief, because if I'm holding on to those conditional belief systems, I'm always going to remain in pain. But if I'm releasing those belief systems, I can absolutely create a lot of opportunity for my life to unfold in a new direction, which does not limit me in any way. In our twin flame journey, we always have this dilemma whether I have to surrender or I have to intentionally manifest. And there is always two thoughts. Most of us are talking about the stage of surrender, being able to surrender in the twin flame journey, where we let go of our control, our own desires, our own expected outcomes, and completely be in the flow. And then there is another thought process which tells us to create intentionally, to manifest what you want, which is coming from the desire of your heart or your soul or your ego, whatever you want to call it. So many people have asked me this question before, that how do I handle this whole dilemma between surrender and intentional manifestation, and what is the right thing to do? And today I'm making this video only to discuss about this specific dilemma, not only from the perspective of the twin flame journey, but overall life. Because this particular dilemma is not just a trait of a twin flame journey. I think anybody who is navigating their life, paving their way forward, dealing with uncertainties, not knowing the future, what will unfold, what will not unfold, how and when to surrender, and how and when to put your intentional manifestation in practice. I think the understanding of both these things very clearly is absolutely essential. When I was navigating my journey and my experience, I have explored both these things. I was standing at specific junctures in my journey where I was practicing intentional manifestation. And there was a time in my journey when I was practicing surrender. And I feel that both these things are equally important. And that is why I felt the need to make this video today. So before I begin, all those who are watching my video but not yet subscribed to my channel, I urge all of you to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification icon. All those who want to have one-to-one private sessions with me, I do conduct private sessions with people who are feeling stuck in their twin flame journey and need to know what are their blind spots or need some sort of advice or a deeper understanding into their inner work and path. I'm always available to such people. All the information about my private sessions is given in the video description. Then there is something absolutely special which is going to happen on 13th September, the second Saturday of the month of September. And what is so special? It's something that is related to this video. So please watch till the end of this video so that you know what is so special about 13th September. I will be announcing that at the end of this video. We have this conflict in different ways, that some people feel that intentional manifestation is required, and some people feel that you only need to operate from your heart center and go with the flow. I feel both these perspectives are true in their own place, because I feel if you are rising yourself at a certain place in your Kundalini system, in your chakra awareness center, which is your heart center, or little bit above that, you would naturally become a very amazing manifester, even when you are not intentionally putting things together. But when you are not operating from that place, and when you are operating from your solar plexus, your natural awareness operation center is your solar plexus. And if you are operating from your solar plexus, the intentional manifestation techniques will work the best. And does that mean that the person who is operating from their heart cannot intentionally manifest with those techniques? Yes, they can. But it depends what comes naturally to them, what is resonating with them. So I'm definitely not saying that intentional manifestation technique is the way for everyone. No, not necessary. But all those who feel resonated with that specific idea or that technique, I feel definitely all of them should look into that very seriously, because there are so many different lessons to learn when you get into the positive trait of learning things out of solar plexus. When somebody snaps out of their solar plexus and starts operating from their heart center, where you have done all your lessons or purging that was related to your solar plexus, you would naturally start coming to your heart center. And when you start coming to your heart center, probably your willingness or your need to intentionally manifest something will also go off. And I feel that both these awareness centers are true in their place. And when you're paving your way forward and when your Kundalini is rising, you would definitely stand at this juncture in your twin flame journey where you will have to explore this part of yourself. Because when we say that our Kundalini is rising higher, we are getting rid of all the negative energy that these chakras are holding. But what about the positive energy? We also need to look at all the positive traits of these chakras, which are there to help you grow in this journey, and you need to utilize the positive traits of those specific centers as you are moving along with your journey. So when it comes to coming in your own power, knowing your inner capacity, shining with your true light, and taking that ownership, taking that responsibility to create what you want to create, this particular awareness comes from your solar plexus. So when anybody is navigating in this journey and paving their way forward, this particular feeling that you want to utilize your ability, you want to come into your own power, and you want to trust that you can. When I was standing at this juncture where I was exploring this intentional manifestation in my journey, I was not operating from my heart chakra. I was tapping into my heart chakra, but my Kundalini had not traveled up to my heart chakra where I was feeling peaceful. I was able to completely let go of everything after whatever efforts I did, of course. I was not operating from my heart center. There was so much of purging that was happening in my life at that time. And I was going to and fro. However, purging process where you are releasing certain density from that specific chakra is one aspect of your inner work. But then there is another aspect of your inner work is that how you are holding the positive traits of that center and how you're utilizing those positive traits of that center. So when it comes to intentional manifestation, it is a absolutely amazing trait of your solar plexus. And I feel that everybody needs to give 100% justice to that center, because you won't be able to fully come and tap into your heart center unless and until you have explored and uncovered all the things that your solar plexus offers you. You need to release what holds you back when it comes to your solar plexus, and you also need to anchor what empowers you with that specific power of solar plexus. So, intentional manifestation is a trait of solar plexus. When I was at that juncture, that specific understanding has helped me so much. And I feel that no person should underestimate the power of free will, intentional manifestation, and the power of your solar plexus. The first and major positive milestone that happened in my journey, where I was able to initiate contact with my twin flame and I wrote him a letter, and whatever unfolded after that was somehow a result of my intentional manifestation technique that I researched and applied in my journey. There was a juncture where somehow, with divine intervention, my spirit guides guided me to certain books. When I was really, really at the dark place or a confused place in my journey, say around 2008, 2009, and I was not knowing anything about twin flames. I was feeling this amazing, intense connection about somebody in my heart. And that was the time I started receiving a lot of intense spiritual guidance from my spirit guides. And they started showing me some books. And this has been my experience that whenever I was really in need, I was a seeker. I wanted to seek answers to my confusion inside my heart. And every time my spirit guides have given me those answers through certain books. So, in my journey, in this period of 2008, 2009, I stumbled upon certain books which kind of started giving me a lot of information about intentional manifestation. The first book I came across was Power of Your Subconscious Mind. This was the book that first time put me into this thought that am I limiting myself? Because so far I was kind of running in my journey. I used to feel that this is some sort of a forbidden fruit, my twin flame, because he is married, I am married, and I am not supposed to think about him. So there was this guilt. And I was limiting myself when it came to reaching out to him. So I was holding myself back. But when I read this book called Power of Your Subconscious Mind, that was the first time I realized very consciously that I am possibly limiting myself because I'm having some sort of a conditional belief system. And I need to let go of that conditional belief, because if I'm holding on to those conditional belief systems, I'm always going to remain in pain. But if I'm releasing those belief systems, I can absolutely create a lot of opportunity for my life to unfold in a new direction, which does not limit me in any way. When I finished that book and when I started pondering upon this new realization, miraculously or with some sort of a divine intervention, I landed upon another book, which was The Secret, which explains the law of attraction. And I started reading that book and I was absolutely delighted because something in my heart was releasing. Something was opening up. And I was thinking that, okay, I don't have to close this door with this connection that I have with my twin flame. I think there are so many things that can open up and I don't have to feel guilty about it. And from one book to another, I was really being shown some way through that exploration. So the second book was The Secret, which explained the law of attraction. The third book I was led to was Ask and It Is Given. It is a book written by Asher Hicks and her husband. And she is somebody who channeled higher spiritual entity, which called itself Abraham. So the book is channeled by Asher Hicks, but it is the information has been given by Abraham Hicks. That was the first time I learned about channeling, about spirits. I was not awakened at that time, but I think I was being prepared, or my awakening process was slowly unfolding through these experiences. So I read that book, and the whole new light was open in front of me. That, oh my God, that power of creation as a soul, I am a spark of the divine. And as I am here incarnated on this planet Earth, I have been given this free will. All the planets in the universe don't have that free will in place, but planet Earth has that free will. And as I'm here on this planet Earth, I do hold this free will. And it is a power given to me by the divine, and I should not underestimate that power and I should utilize that power for my best. When I realized that, so many walls that I had created for myself just started falling down. And I realized that no, I am the creator, I am the divine, and I can put forward things which manifest here. I'm here to expand my consciousness. So, whatever I do, whatever I think, whatever I execute while being in the physical body is extremely important. And that is the purpose of me being here in my physical body in the first place. So this was an amazing realization for me. And that was a major milestone in my journey, because that was the pre-preparation for me to even think of this possibility that I can initiate contact with my twin flame without any shame, guilt, or if and but, or any fear that I was holding at that time. So why I'm telling this particular story in detail? Only to put forward this fact that so many of us are glorifying the state of flow or state of surrender, but undermining our own ability to come into our own power. And I'm definitely not saying that state of surrender is a polar opposite of manifesting intentionally, because the intentional manifestation will take place when you are able to fully surrender. So ultimately, intentional manifestation also is achieved by being in the state of surrender. So they are not polar opposites, but the way people perceive things, whether I should surrender or I should intentionally manifest, is not correct. So there is a need for everybody to understand what is the difference between surrender and intentional manifestation, and why they should not polarize these things in the first place. Whatever you are intentionally thinking, ultimately you need to let it go. There is a process of letting go so that you are not sticking to the specific expected stubborn outcome. For example, saying it consciously, putting it forward consciously to the universe that I intend this, but I let it go at the same time because I don't want to attach myself to any expected outcome. Without that process of surrender, the technique of intentional manifestation is not complete. So I would not call surrender as a polarity to intentional manifestation, but surrender is a absolute part of the intentional manifestation process. So, how would you start raising your vibration and matching it up to what you want? That is what is about intentional manifestation technique. And I feel that once the person starts working through this technique, it is some sort of an inner work, because I have done this sort of an inner work in my journey where I knew that I believe that my twin flame doesn't love me. I had a lot of wounds in my heart when it comes to me believing that he doesn't care about me, he doesn't think about me, he doesn't love me so much in the core of my heart. And when I started learning about intentional manifestation and I started applying certain things in my journey, I was able to overcome and work on these belief systems that I was holding, and I was able to release those belief systems. I'm giving you twin flame example, but it's not necessary that it is only meant for twin flames. It could be anything. It could be your job. It could be any damn thing in your life. If you want your twin flame to come back, there is a huge difference between what you wish and what is it that you are holding in your energy. So, wishing something and holding a certain vibrational energy are two different things. So, many times your vibrational energy is about your disbelief that they can never come back to you, but your wish is that they should come back to you. So, there is a big polarity in whatever vibration you hold and whatever wish you are having when it comes to your twin flame journey. It would never match and it will never happen. So, when it comes to intentional manifestation, it is about reducing this gap. Whatever you wish, whatever you desire, and the kind of energy you hold, whatever you are at this point of time vibrationally, there is such a stark difference between the two. So, this is something which I feel is very important for every twin flame to understand. So, there are two things which people always struggle with when it comes to intentional manifestation. First is that no clarity of thought. They have some vague ideas about what they want in their life, but when you ask them, what do you really want, they are not able to tell. Secondly, being able to let go of your limited belief systems, that becoming mindful about what sort of belief systems you hold, being able to discern it and being able to differentiate it and being able to let those limited thoughts and limited belief systems go from your life. And the third thing is setting the intention that I let go of all these limited things that are limiting me in my life and I want to manifest something completely different. I think if these three things are happening when you are operating from your solar plexus, or you are acknowledging a good trait that comes from your solar plexus, you will be able to shift yourself vibrationally completely into a different space. So, this is what I want to say in today's video. And the special thing that I wanted to put forward at the end of this video is that there have been a lot of people who have been requesting me that you should take some sort of a class when it comes to this intentional manifestation and how we should go about it. So, in my group sessions that I call sacred circles, which happen on every second and fourth Saturday every month, on 13th September and 27th September, both the sessions in the month of September are going to be about the techniques of understanding what intentional manifestation is all about and how to work on those intentional manifestation techniques. So there are two parts of the session. Imagination is the key to creation, part 1, and imagination is the key to creation, part 2. And it's going to be, I hope that it's going to be an amazing session and many people will benefit from these sessions. So all those who really want to go a bit deeper into this aspect and really want to understand how they can uplift themselves by empowering their solar plexus can register for this session. For those who have not done any group sessions with me before, you can have one free trial session in the coming group session. And those who really want to be a part of this session, all the information about registration and everything is given in the video description. You can register yourself. If you have already taken the free trial session, you can become a member according to whatever package suits you, and you can register for these two sessions that are happening in the month of September. So I guess this is all for today. I'm definitely looking forward to more people who will benefit from these sessions. This is all for today. See you in the next video. Namaste.